Hey, it's Nicola. We are back with some Jira administration and let's talk about some global permissions. Your global permissions are actually pretty important because there are actually a lot of global permissions that, well, can actually make your, let's say, experience in Jira either better or worse. Now, the very first global permission is Administer Jira. This is something that your Jira administrators have. And this permission actually gives the users who are part of this, and usually this is going to be the group. So when you are adding the users, granting the users the global permissions, please use groups. Do not grant this to the individual users. That is very bad practice. Okay, so with the Administer Jira, what you can actually do, you can modify everything that comes with schemes, your workflows, your fields, your issue types, your screens, your field configurations, permissions, notifications. All of those things can be done with someone who has the Administer Jira global permissions, except managing the users, importing the data, and also managing the system email settings. So this is something that you actually have. And in here, what I actually have for the Administer Jira is that the users who are the part of admins group can do this, and the site admins. As you can see right here, org admins are not being mentioned here. Okay, org admins are not part of this. Of course, anytime you can actually include them in here. That is one thing. The second global permission that I can say is also really important and needs to be managed well, and this is browse users and groups. So this is something when let's say you have this problem where one of your users are actually telling you that they cannot basically mention someone within the comments, right? They try to use the at symbol. They try to type in their name, but nothing comes up. So that means that specific person who is trying to browse for that user, they do not have this browse users and groups permission. So they need to be part of this group so they can actually do this. Of course, the another thing is this is also important if you have the user picker field. Now this user picker field can be the assignee, for example. Also, you can specify your own custom field that has the value of the user picker. So that is something that actually you can do. And of course, this is not only for the users, this is also for the groups as well. So you can actually mention the groups as well. Third global permission is share dashboards and filters. It's basically like self-explanatory to share the dashboards and filters with the others. Of course, this is something when you have, like, let's say your private dashboard or your private field, but then again you actually want to share this with someone. You actually want to make sure that basically you can actually do this. One thing to actually keep in mind is that your Jira admins can see all of the filters and they can also see all of the dashboards, even though if they're private. That doesn't mean, regardless of that, they can see them. Manage group filter subscriptions. So it's that option that basically where you can create and delete group filter subscriptions. And this is for each of the projects where you can actually do this. and there's this option that you're actually giving your users to create filter subscriptions. That is that on your email address you actually get the information about the issues of a certain filter. So basically, this is what your manage group filter subscription does. The thing is that when it comes to the group permissions, global permission, is that most of the time when it has been created by default from the Atlassian, usually it stays like that, except this one permission that we're going to be talking about later. Another thing is that you certainly don't want, okay, you don't want to put and have your browse users and groups permission to be allowed for anyone. So that means anyone on the internet out there, they can browse for your users, and actually they can browse for your groups. So that is something that is violating the confidentiality of your data security. So this is something that yeah, you need to be aware of this. All right. So share dashboards and filters, make bulk changes. Another important global permission. Basically, that option when you go to your projects, when you go to the issues, and there's this option to bulk change the issues. So that is being done with the make bulk changes. When it comes to making the bulk changes, this is either editing of the issues, this is either the moving of the issues, this is either the deleting of the issues, or editing the workflow statuses of these issues. Now, of course, most of the time, and as you can see, this is actually perfectly fine, and it was even given to Jira users. So basically, everyone who is part of your site. So this is by default. I wouldn't actually change this at all. So this is actually good. This thing right here, Atlassian add-ons admin, this was announced to be retiring, and so Atlassian is planning to remove this in the future. So this thing right here will be gone. Okay. There is this Atlassian Home for Jira Cloud Project Connection issue glance. That's a lot of text, right? It says Atlassian enables the Atlassian Home. Basically, that is that page that and when you go like type in home.atlassian.com, and basically it's not even it's actually redirecting you to Atlas, and I don't know if Atlas is going to be relevant for that long. It's a matter of time when that is going to be changed as well. And this is where you also have the option to go and see the goals, and to manage the goals, and to manage everything that is related within the goals for themselves. So that is the Atlassian Home basically. Last but not least, create team managed projects. By default, this has been set to public. Now, this should be changed because you don't want basically to allow anyone on the internet out there to actually create team managed projects within your instance. Why they actually need to do that? Why they need to, be there and to create the team managed projects, and to have their own projects on your instance, when basically they can do that for themselves. They can create their own instance for free. So this is something that I would actually change, and I would limit this either for your Jira users to be able to do this. Now, there is actually a lot of debates here that some admins, it's totally fine. Some admins are basically like banning the team managed projects to be non-existent at all. I can understand that from the certain point, but sometimes people team managed projects are there for the reason, because they are actually suitable for, let's say, for smaller teams. Let's say no one wants to bother Jira admin with, let's say, their little personal project that they can manage themselves. And if they're actually capable of doing that, why not letting them actually do that? So this is something that I would actually limit only for your basically users within your site. But to have this in public, no, I would actually really change this. So how do you actually do this? So if I actually select delete, so this is something that happens now in here. It seems like no one is actually having this option, right? So I'm gonna select the group in here. I'm gonna say these are going to be my Jira users. I'm gonna add this, and now my Jira users are actually able to really do this. And this is something that I believe that is fine. Of course, I'm actually respectful towards the others' opinions. It's actually totally fine if you want to disable this and not not allowing anyone to actually create the team managed projects. Really, I am fine with that, and I do respect that. So this is everything that you needed to know about your global permissions for the Jira administration, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.